Now we've looked at a portion of the thumbnail process and we've come up with some design choices that we like. If you choose to go through that process with your own vehicle, you can continue to refine that drawing on paper, or if you have the opportunity, you can also start to block out some shapes in Maya to get a better idea of how your design will look in 3D. By doing this, you can more quickly identify possible problem areas, you have the opportunity to see your car from various angles, and you can very quickly change the proportion and shape of the vehicle to your liking. Now in our case, this is our first version here, and you can see that we've kept the cylindrical cockpit and the wide back end, but we've enlarged the front end quite a bit from our thumbnails, giving it a little bit less of a dragster look. We've also added some scoops coming off of the side here, and we've started to define an area for the exposed engine here in the back. In this second version, you can see that we've thickened everything up quite a bit. The front end has been enlarged, and we've added a more conventional grille type front end. We've also extended little fenders up here partially over the front wheels. And we've got little wings coming out of the front end right here. And we've also defined the shape just a little bit more as well. And you can see that the scoops have been accentuated here underneath. And while it's an interesting shape, it kind of breaks up the shape of our car. So maybe we want to take those out. Having said that, we'll go to the third version here, and you can see that indeed we have taken those scoops out and integrated them into the body of the car. We've also added some detail up here. Thinking we need something to come across the center and extend up over these tires, right now we just have a simple cylindrical shape. And while I like the idea that proposes, I don't necessarily like the shape of that. In the fourth version, we've changed those shapes to more of a wing shape, but they're still very kind of dainty, a little bit just too fragile looking. But I like the direction that we're going. The rest of the car is pretty much staying the same through our different versions, and we're now concentrating more on the front. We've also extended the fender straight back just a little bit as an experiment to see what that will look like. In this fifth version, we have now changed up the front end, going from basically this straight kind of boring look, adding a little bit more interest here. But again, the back end is remaining pretty much the same. In this last version, you can see that now we're starting to come together. All of this has been nailed down here in the back, and now we've worked a little bit more on these wing shapes, and so they're a little bit thicker, they overlap one another, and I really like where those shapes are going now. They look a little bit more substantial and add, I think, to the aggressiveness of the car. All right, from here we can take a look at our model from all different angles. It's an advantage of working here in Maya. We can also check the silhouette. If we hit 7, turning on our lighting, no lighting in there, just turn everything black, turn the wireframe off, and now we can get a better look at the silhouette, how that looks against the background. And we can look at that from all angles and change anything that we need to change. It kind of eliminates any of that external detail that can distract you when you're looking at that shape and just force you to concentrate just on the silhouette. If I hit the 5 key, that'll take me back to shaded mode there. Alright, so if you've gone through this process with your own car and you now like the shape and you're ready to continue, you can either try to use your proxy geometry as a base for your high-res mesh, or you can use your proxy more as a template and start to build your car again from scratch. Now, if we haven't really paid any attention to our topology, in this case it's not too bad, but in many cases maybe it's a little bit rough and you may be better off just to start from scratch as far as building your actual high-res geometry and just use your proxy as a template. Okay. Well, now that we have our design ironed out, let's go ahead and examine the kind of look that we're going to be shooting for the rest of the way. And we're going to be building our car from scratch. And this is what we're going to be trying to achieve. Now you can clearly see the similarities between this finished car and the design that we've worked out. You can see it's got the large back end, kind of sweeps in here. We've got the cylindrical cockpit, the external engine. We've got a larger front end that we've scaled up in our previs. And we've got these wing shapes that come and extend over these floating fenders here. All right. So let's go ahead and start working on building this car from scratch.